Oh, y'all don't know what happened to Kramer? Well, y'all remember Kramer, right? He was on the Seinfeld show. He would always like do those like weird facial expressions and all that. Anyway, one day he goes on this insane racist rant that ruins his career, but it's actually a lot worse than you think because Kramer had a problem. Now, before we get to the racist rant, first thing you gotta know is Kramer was huge on Seinfeld, a huge star, but so much so that everyone just saw him as Kramer. He wanted to do movies afterwards, but people like, nah, he just Kramer. Matter of fact, his name not even Kramer, but I'm calling him Kramer for this video, you get me? So to make people stop seeing him as Kramer, he started doing all these comedy shows and all that. So he's in one of these shows, right? He talking, he having a set, right? He hears some chuckling. On the top, he said, now, who that chuckling up there? It's two black people. They chuckling about something they're not watching the set. Kramer said, cool it, Kramer, just keep going with the set. Hey, so what's up with that airline food, am I right? Nobody said, boo. He said, who said that? Everybody said, well, like I was saying, just flew in from Albuquerque and boy, are my arms tired. Everybody said, nobody was feeling it. But something kept bothering Kramer. The two black men up top not paying attention. Just sitting over there having their own conversation. Kramer started going off. He started talking about something. 50 years ago, we would have had, and I'm not even gonna finish that sentence. Just imagine the most racist things a person could say. Kramer out there saying. And weirdly enough, the crowd like starts chuckling a little at this point. The two black men up top like, nah, man, that's uncalled for. Like he said, Kramer said, that's uncalled for? He throws out hard R after hard R after hard R. At this point, the crowd going, oh, black men start leaving. They say, you know what, hey man, we done with this. Like, nah, screw that. Like, now as the men are leaving, they kind of arguing with Kramer here and there, but this is where Kramer messes up. He says, wait a minute, he's not going, is he? To the dude leaving. The dude leaving says, all right, Kramer, that's why your career never took off. You trash. Nobody like you. Nobody watch your movies. Nobody watch your shows. That's why you were only known for one role off Seinfeld. And that hit deep. Kramer was stuck. He said, whoa, you got me. Oh, yeah. I don't got a career. Like, I'm trash. Yeah. The dude's leaving. Kramer said, I'm trash. His face just collapses inward. The crowd is staring at him dead silent. He said, nothing. He just walks off. And here's where things start to get wicked, actually. Because later that day, Jerry Seinfeld, coincidentally, was supposed to be on David Letterman. Letterman said, look, we had a whole thing planned, but Jerry wants to bring out Kramer. Jerry said, yeah, you know, I don't condone what he did, but I think we all just kind of want to hear an explanation. And then boom, they cut to Kramer. Letterman said, so like, how you feeling? Kramer says, you know what, not too good. And everyone starts to laugh. I'm not gonna lie, as soon as I see him, bro, and he started talking, I start laughing. Then I said, oh, that's the problem. Nobody is taking this dude seriously. This dude want to be a serious actor, but when you look at him, you just laugh. Matter of fact, it cuts back to Jerry and David Letterman, and they laughing too. The crowd low-key hollering. Kramer barely said a word. Jerry frowns immediately when he sees the cameras on. He said, all right, y'all, chill out. Like, it's not funny. Like, chill out. Letterman talking about all right, no, but seriously, what happened earlier, Kramer? Kramer said, I hear your crowd laughing. Everybody said, nah. He said, so, maybe this is a bad like place to be right now. Maybe I shouldn't be here right now. Everybody said, no, like, what happened? He said, well, everybody said, he said, well, so I said some racist stuff, and that's not me. And you know, he was a typical like apologist. And throughout the whole apology, he's calling black people Afro-Americans. And it doesn't seem like a joke. It seems like he seriously just thinks black people are called Afro-Americans. And well, it's just pretty awkward. It goes back to Jerry and David. They said, you just keep going with the stuff. They say, yeah, let's just keep going. But I think the worst part about all this was that even after the racist stuff, the apology and all that, and after the whole situation, I think people were actually outraged.